Once again, we're welcome everyone. In the chat section shortly, I will share with us the tweet to this particular town hall meeting. We may wish to retweet it on our Twitter just to enable enough young people join in this conversation. The Honorable Minister will be with us shortly. I've just accepted him in from the waiting room. So I will just share the tweet now in the chat section so we can all retweet, and I would shortly be inviting the Honorable Minister to give us his opening remarks. So once again, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the 4th Youth Town Hall, Virtual Youth Town Hall meeting. The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Diary, has joined us. I will hand over to him now for his opening remarks. Honorable Minister Sunday Diary, sir. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kemi. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure once again to welcome everyone, particularly our youth, to the 4th in the series of town hall meeting, the virtual town hall meeting with the Nigerian youth. We have had 3 previous ones. We have had exchange of ideas. We provided updates. We've had about 4 to 5 ministers being part of this. And today will not be any different. I want to welcome the Minister of State, Mines and Steel, Honorable Minister Ogah, but also Ms. Jumoke Lawoyin, who is a mining expert with a bias for opportunities for youth in the mining sector. I believe that as we go along, we're going to vary the content of this, because beyond conversation, we want to present opportunities and insight. For today, the focus will be on opportunities for our youth in the mining industry, but also I will provide updates about government responses to the demands of our youth. Of course, you know the NYIF application process is ongoing. I've also announced that under the stimulus plan, we have an approval of about 4 billion naira to be able to train our youth from training into enterprise, provide what they need to become entrepreneurs. These programs will be unloaded in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and it cuts across several areas: digital skills training, smart agriculture, solar energy, mobile device training, and quite a number of them, 7 different areas. Coding for employment, as the case may be, and each of these programs will have a national spread so that our youth from across the country can have opportunity to benefit from these training programs. We have seen also that increasingly the judicial panel that was set up by the states have since cranked up. They've cranked up their working. We're following closely the developments in the newspapers. People are coming up with their stories in the past and in the present, and it speaks to the president's promise. Having accepted those 5 demands, he also gave directives. We also see the states supporting, in the same spirit, the need to come out with full disclosure to get justice for those that have been denied justice. And I think this is the hallmark of a presidency that has leveled and will always level with the Nigerian people. So once again, I welcome you to this 4th town hall meeting today with a focus on opportunities for our youth in the mining sector. We are, of course, determined to pursue the path of entrepreneurship for our youth in any sector, digital sector, mining sector, wherever we find opportunities, we intend to open up those opportunities. The Minister of State, Mines and Steel will provide insight into government opportunities, but also the expert, Mrs. Lawoyin Jumoke, will lead us into the nitty-gritty of how, as a youth, you can benefit from the mining industry. So once again, I thank you all and I welcome you to the fourth town hall meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, sir. I've just received a message from the Honorable Minister of State that he's actually airborne currently and unable to join us at this minute. So while we do get our expert, Mrs. Jumoke Lawoyin, to speak to us, while we wait for her to speak to us, I'd like to go to the audience and see if anybody at this point has any comments for now, comments, observations that you would like to put forward to the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. I won't say questions as at yet because we haven't been given the information. So obviously it's once we get the information that we start to ask questions. So at this point, if you do have any comments, any notes that you would want us to take home and address, please raise your hand now so that I can unmute you to speak. So I'm just checking for any raised hands. Okay, so I think if we have nobody that has any comments, nobody has anything to say at this particular point, because this is a discussion, it's a two-way conversation. It's not just one way to us, it's us speaking back with the honorable ministers to say exactly what it is that we want. So if there's anybody, okay, so I see Nelson Ulocha. I hope I pronounced the name properly and I didn't murder it. So Nelson Ulocha, I will try to unmute you at this point so that you are able to speak. So once you receive the notification, please unmute yourself and you will have the floor once you've done that. Nelson, please unmute yourself. I think Nelson is struggling.
Yes.
There we go. So Nelson, can you speak up so we can hear you? Because I can see you've unmuted yourself.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's my internet or your internet. I'm struggling to hear you. Is anyone else struggling to hear Nelson, or am I the only one?
My name is Nelson Oluwacha. I'm from Abia State. Actually, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Please do go on.
Yes, I said my comment goes directed to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports. I would advise that at this point, some of the empowerment programs are decentralized because the population of the country is growing and that of the youth is quadrupled, and it is not good that whenever opportunities are set up, there is a central source where these things are going to. No, I think it should be done in states. If there's like these youth investment funds, let people have the opportunity to register in their states. Because I saw the news when they said about 1 million youths have applied for youth. It is not enough, because by the time these set are still left out. But assuming that these opportunities are set down in the states where everybody can work
So, Mr. Nelson, I think your connection is pretty bad. Connection is pretty bad, but if I'm correct, I think we've got the crux of what you were trying to say about decentralizing the programs. The Honorable Minister will speak to that shortly. And then if there is something else you would like to say, you may wish to leave it in the comment section. And then from the comment section, we'll be able to read it out, only because we are struggling to hear you. The network is rather bad. Do we have anyone else with their hands up that would like to speak at this point? Trying to check for some hands up. And I don't think I have any. Just excuse me while I rummage through. Okay, so there's a comment from, just trying to get the name here because it's scrolling across, from Bright. My observation is regarding the NYIF application process. As brought to my attention by many applicants, no one got an acknowledgement email after successfully completing the application. This makes some applicants skeptical and wondering if their applications actually got received, most especially as there is news filtering in that some persons have received a follow-up email, most especially, some persons have received a follow-up email message from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development about moving to the next stage. So I've got those two comments for the Honorable Minister when we do bring him back. Do we have any more comments from anyone else? Please do raise your hand if you have a comment that you would like to make. Okay, I have Kingsley Ekejuba. I hope I also pronounced the name correctly. Kingsley Ekejuba, I'm unmuting you now. Please, you do have.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Ekejuba Kingsley. Thank you. You did quite a good job in pronouncing my name. I'm from Abia State. And firstly, I want to appreciate the Honorable Minister for this platform. I think these are conversations that will get Nigerian youth engaged and positively enlightened on issues and events, and also have the opportunity to air their views. I believe that going forward, this kind of events should be continuous and more effort should be made in publicizing this kind of events so that we have maximum contributions and maximum attendance. Well, my contribution will be towards the NYIF program, which the Honorable Minister has started with his ministry. I want to commend him for that program and as well ask that the process be made effective and open for everyone. What do I mean? A lot of youth are really looking up to this particular program. And so a lot is at stake on this program. The process should be made easy for Nigerian youth. Most things and most programs you have that run across the country, so sometimes the processes are tedious. So we hope that the Honorable Minister will make sure that this program is very easy for the youth to access, because like I said, a lot of the youths are looking up to this program. This is one program that if eventually it gets across to the youth that really need it, it will change narrative and also boost the confidence of the youths in this government. Thank you very much. That's the comment I want to make. And God bless you for the efforts you're putting in place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley. I would not try to pronounce the name again in case I get it wrong, but thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley. So we're now looking for our mines and steel expert, Madam Jumoke Lawoyin. She has hinted us offline that there are a good number of jobs in the mines and steel industry where if you can get keyed in today and literally start tomorrow. Those are the exact words. I'm trying to find her. Now, if you please do give me a minute or two while I locate her. And the next voice, well, after my voice, the next voice you hear would be Madam Jumoke Lawoyin. But I believe her name is not on her screen, so I just have to look for her manually. Okay, so while we wait for Madam Jumoke Lawoyin to come on, we have a message from the Special Assistant to the Minister of the Honorable Minister of State for Mines and Steel. Just a second, while I ensure everyone is muted. Okay, so we do have Mr. Rasak Abiodun's hand is up. Mr. Rasak Abiodun, unmuting you now. You may wish to speak at this point. Rasak Abiodun. Mr. Rasak Abiodun, you've been unmuted. And Mr. Joshua A. Joseph. Please unmute yourselves.
Yes, I have unmuted myself. Can you hear? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Please do. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I have a word that I want to say to Mr. Honorable Minister of the Youth, Sports and there's something I wanted to say and I have noticed for quite a long time now. We, the youth in the country, we don't have no data. We are so many that you don't know how many we are. If Mr. Honorable Minister, if we listen to me and take my advice, I will advise him to create a profile. Let's know how many youths they are in pro, how many youths they are students, how many youths that don't have nothing to do, how many youths are there in the business. So that the remaining one now, that they are in the business, but they want to be in the business and don't have no funds. Because even the funds make available for people to benefit, the one that needed it, they are not getting it. If the profile is created, those one in the local places, in the villages, information will reach them that they are registering all the youths. Even those ones studying outside the country can register in that particular portal. So we now know who is working, who is doing business, who is not having nothing to do, who is a student. Then we now know who and who to help and who not to help any longer. So that the whole work now will now come in one particular place. Talk about the NYI fund now that we are talking about now. Many people have applied, but no information is not reaching people the way it's supposed to would have reached. If we have our own profile, we would have been getting information in that profile. Anytime you log in, you get particular information the way it's supposed to would have been. If people that share information, they are not enough, let it employ more so that information can reach each and everybody at the doorstep. That is my contribution for now. Hello?
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that comment. The Honorable Minister will speak to it shortly. Thank you so much. So I believe Madam Jumoke is here, and I'm trying to get her to unmute herself. but we're not having much success. Okay, just a second. Okay, Mr. Kelechi Ekugo from the office of the HMS Mines and Steel. Mr. Kelechi Ekugo, I'm going to try to unmute you now, Mr. Kelechi. So, Mr. Kelechi, you may wish to unmute yourself at this point.
Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone. I'm the Chief of Staff to the Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Uchechukwu. I'm proud to say I belong to the youth demographic. And I also have one of my colleagues, Mr. Patrick Anakwe. He is the Technical Assistant to the Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development as well. And you know, we are gracious and opportune to be at this virtual gathering. First of all, I want to extend the sincere apologies of Dr. Uchechukwu, the Honorable Minister of State. Just impromptu, he was asked by the President to proceed to the Southeast for an official assignment. And so currently he's airborne as we speak. And hopefully, if he touches down in good time, he will try and catch up with the remainder of this program. But in any case, he's asked that we can deliver his goodwill remarks, you know, highlighting the opportunities and prospects of mining and how to encourage youths within the mining sector. So. I just want to first of all acknowledge His Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Sunday Dare, and the organizers of this town hall event, which I believe is the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So in reading his remarks, I start, and I quote, the Honorable Minister, right, okay. I want to start by expressing my profound gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, and management of the ministry for the opportunity of this platform to engage with the Nigerian youths. I welcome in a special way the youths who are present here and those who may listen to our discussions later. Overview of mining in Nigeria. The vision of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is to transform Nigeria's solid minerals and metal sector into an irresistible destination for global capital, attracting foreign direct investment to grow the sector to optimum level. Mining in Nigeria dates back to 1903 with the exploitation of coal, tin, columbite in Jos and Enugu areas. However, mining, which involves exploitation of mineral endowments, spreads across the nation, is not new to our people, especially in areas such as poultry, etc. But the techniques involved has changed with evolving technology. The mining industry has become a global industry which provides major raw material inputs for varying industries' manufacturing processes. Modern mining stages now includes exploration, actual mining exploitation, and processing has developed that not only youths with modern skills can play a critical role in. Since the enactment of the Minerals and Mining Act of 2007, government's roles has changed from operator/owner to administrator/regulator of the mining industry in Nigeria. Today, our major responsibility is to create the enabling environment for mining businesses to thrive. The entrance into the Nigerian mining industry is by obtaining the requisite licenses and permits from the Nigerian Mining Cadastral Office. The entry requirements entails company registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission, but individuals can also apply for small-scale mining license only. Different classes of qualifications like the COMEG registered professionals, surveyors, lawyers, and other professionals have one role or the other to play. At the exploration stage, I want to inform the youths that modern exploration techniques involves ICT-based skills, artificial intelligence, geophysics, and geological expertise. This is the risky part of the mining business and requires youths with special skills to harness the potential investments in the sector. The standard mining process involves different skills in mining engineering, geology, geophysics, mechanical maintenance, electrical engineering, truck drivers, artisans, etc., and which are mostly dominated by youths. The current challenge is that the industry is characterized by artisanal and small-scale miners, and the efforts of present administration is to attract major miners into the sector. The importance of today's town hall meeting cannot be overemphasized, as we cannot diversify the economy without harnessing the potentials of the downstream mineral sector. The expectations of Nigerians with respect to job creation, poverty reduction, increased GDP contribution, and sustainable industrial growth through the mineral sector will remain elusive unless we harness the downstream minerals value chain. Some of the areas of interest in the downstream sector include understanding the new export guidelines and active participation in the value-added mineral export value chain in collaboration with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Mineral assay and characterization of different elemental constituents. Running of mineral buying centers in the country and youth-friendly, running of mineral buying centers in the country and marketing the mineral potentials of Nigeria using the youth-friendly social platforms. Developing special skills in stone polishing and cutting techniques in collaboration with the Nigerian Institute of Mining and Geoscience in Jos. Jewelry making techniques. Consultancy services on the setting up of processing facilities in Nigeria using local materials like cement production, ceramics production, dimension stones, plaster of Paris, galvanizing plants, quality barite production, lead, zinc smelting, gold refining, refractory production, etc. I want to reassure Nigerian youths that there are enormous opportunities in the mineral sector, and they can participate actively as agents or key players if they can develop interest within the sector. The present administration has promoted the industry, and foreigners are now showing serious interest in mining. But without the participation of our youths, the gains cannot be sustainable. Finally, I want to thank the organizers, participants, especially the youths, for their keen interest in mining businesses and wish to partner with the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to fashion specific programs in mining for the youth. Mr. President has mandated us to ensure that we streamline application processes and significantly increase private sector in mining, ensure orderly and efficient mining of the 7 priority strategic minerals in the mining roadmap, which are namely coal, bitumen, limestone, iron ore, barite, gold, and lead zinc ore. He has also emphasized the need to strengthen collaboration with state governments and relevant security agencies to ensure security and safety of mining areas. Also, introduce incentives to improve the investment climate for mining activities, stamp out illegal mining and formalizing artisanal and small-scale mining activities across the country, collaboration with the private sector to create a large number of well-paying jobs for the Nigerian youths. Thank you very much. From Dr. Uchechukwu Samson Ogah, Minister of State's Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. Thank you. I'm not sure we can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi, for that message from the Honorable Minister of State Mines and Steel. We really appreciate you stepping in. Thank you so much. At this point now, we do have, please do stay around for questions, because I know there are a lot of people that want to ask you questions. So please do stay around. We've now got Mrs. Jumoke. Thank you so much. It was a bit of a struggle to get you on, but we've got you now. We've been waiting for you. So please, Mrs. Jumoke, you do have the floor now. Please do educate us a bit on the mining and steel industry. Are you there, ma? Okay. I think we might just have just a little bit of a technical glitch, but we're working on it. Madam Jumoke, can you still hear us? Okay, I think the network is not being so great to her wherever she is. I do have a few hands raised. So we'll go back to, we'll take a question or two. Mr. Aluko Sunday, please unmute your phone and let's hear from you. Yes, we'll explain what the process of getting started is very shortly. Mr. Aluko Sunday, are you there? Oh, just a second.
Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Please, can you hear me? Yeah, good
Yes.
evening, everyone.
Good evening. How are we today?
Please, yeah, question. I'm fine, thank you. I want to ask a question about the Nigeria Youth Investment Fund. So I want to ask, according to the requirements on the portal for us to register, the only things that were asked were just names and personal information of those that are applying. So now he said they are going to go through the applications and select people. But based on the information I saw on the portal, there was nothing significant. There was nothing to make people stand out on the portal. So I want to ask, what are the things that will make people stand out? What are the requirements that will make people qualify for the fund? And I've done a lot of things in order for me to be able to, in order to get myself qualified for the fund. And again, they said the fund is in two categories. Number one is that for those that are registered, for registered business and those that do not have a registered business. And while I was applying, there was no space for those that have registered and those that have not. So I've been wondering if I personally, because I took a lot of time to make sure I get my business registered and there's no difference between me and those that have not registered. So I want justice to be done to that. And again, I would like to say this, I don't know if I'm permitted. We've been talking about restructuring in Nigeria and a lot of things. And I'd like to say we should try to talk to our governors as well, because I've seen a kind of state whereby the governor would decide not to pay salaries of workers. And like the state I am on, those states, it has happened 2 months down, they've not been paid. So restructuring should start from state level. Imagine a situation whereby the governor would determine not to pay workers and start doing infrastructure when people are going hungry. These things are not supposed to be in place. So that's all I have to say. I just want to tell you if you can get to the president and address governors as well to care for the welfareism of the citizens of their state. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Your comment has been taken as well as your question. So we will forward your question on and the Honorable Minister will get back to you. Solomon Egeonu, I hope I got that right as well. Solomon Egeonu, I'm going to try to unmute you now, Mr. Solomon, and you may wish to speak now. There we go, Mr. Solomon, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I am Egon Solomon Chimaroke from Abia State. Well, I listened to what the PA to the Minister of State said, but the problem still remains the processes of applying for these licenses we are talking about. Now, the Minister of Mine is located in Abuja, and I'm in Abia State here. For me to even process myself and get my transport and all that, I'm suggesting if there will be a portal that can be created so that if you're applying for these licenses, it will be easier and it will be done online without saving us the cost of traveling up and down, knowing one other person or two. The second question I have is, what is the ministry doing so that those who are going to apply for these licenses, at least they will need money to facilitate the mining business they are going into? What is the federal government doing so that banks can provide loans with low interest so that a lot of youth will key in and get these funds so that the mining business is not something you go into. We are in Nigeria, whereby a lot of youth don't even end up to 10,000 a month. So getting these loans without collateral and all that things, before you get a loan set in the bank today, you have to bring your family house, bring everything as collateral. So what is the ministry and the federal government doing so that these banks will be able to provide loans and these businesses that are going to start in the ministry so that they will be tax-free for quite a time so that when the business is established, then we can now reap the benefit of it. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Your questions will be passed on. We'll soon get to the section of questions, and we'll take a few questions. Let's move to the next person. I have Joy Adewiyi. Joy Adewiyi, you may wish to unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Joy.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. So I have a question for the representative of the minister, that's Mr. Kelechi. And my question, okay, I listened to him speak, but then I want to hear him talk about the precise channels or strategies that they have and they plan to implement towards including youth in the mining industry. I'm someone who actually am focused in the agricultural sector, and most of my research and my work is in that sector. Now, I have interest in diversifying my investment, and I'm very much interested in coming into the mining sector. I remember being in Sokoto last year, and I got in contact with some of the minerals that are available in Sokoto State. Now, we want to listen or want to hear you talk about strategic steps that would include us. Like in the comments or questions I had in this chat session, I was asking if maybe there's going to be a training in 2021, January, saying, okay, if you want to be a part, if you want to get trained, if you want to know more about these things, then you should apply. And then if we qualify, then we'll be brought on board. So we want to, even for the people that are already existing in the sector, what are those things that you have in place for them? One thing I keep saying is we are going to be the ones to take over from the present generation. If we don't know these things, then how are we going to be able to help Nigeria move forward in coming future years? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Joy. Thank you so much for that. We'll now speak with Madam Jumoke, who would speak to us on some of the questions that we do have at the moment. Madam Jumoke, I've just requested for you to unmute yourself. Please do unmute yourself. Okay, you are not yet unmuted.
Okay.
There we go. Brilliant.
Okay.
Good evening.
I have. Hello.
Good evening. You are welcome, ma'am. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So the floor is all
Thank
yours,
you.
ma'am.
Yes, I can. Thank you. Yes, I can. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. You can speak now, ma'am. It's over to you, Nama. We're all waiting to hear from you, Ma. Thank you.
Hello. Oh, all right. My name is Jumoke Lawoyin, and I am excited at the fact that the Nigerian youth are now absolutely ready to mind their own business. We're not interested in minding people's business. We want to mind our way to becoming very wealthy young people. And Nigeria has a lot of potentials for young people who really want to get serious. In Osun here, I'm in Oshogbo. I'm in Osun State. And Osun State has all sorts of minerals that can be mined. And the good thing about mining is you do not really need money to get started. You just need to have that drive inside you that makes you understand that you were created and brought to live in Nigeria. You were born in Nigeria, or even if you were not born here, you came to Nigeria because everything you need to do well is here in Nigeria by divine arrangement for you. So, in fact, in Osun State now, we have working with some Ogas in Ijesha land. They have seeded 100 hectares of land so that we can mine, farm, build housing. So we are thinking of doing an integrated mining community, which means we will mine responsibly, we will farm responsibly, we'll build houses with some of the the stuff we leave out of the mining field. Because when you mine, you are supposed to reclaim. But some of the places you cannot reclaim, you can turn into a fish pond. And some of the laterite that you might have will use in housing. For the past 3 years, I've been working with the mining department of Federal University of Technology, Akure. And I believe that one of the problems Nigeria has is we are not raising our youth to be skilled. It's okay to have a PhD and all those degrees, but you actually need to do practicals yourself. And I get excited every time the students come to work on the site because they are now going to graduate entrepreneurs because they know what they need to do to become miners. Other universities, University of Osun and OAU have also said they would like to join in the program so that students and artisanal miners and any young person, you don't need to have any degree or even you don't need to have gone to school to become a miner. And one of the good things in Osun State is they do have gold, that is true. And gold is easily accessible because the part they have in Osun State is alluvial. So it's a case of you digging and washing and you get a little bit of gold. And if you are consistent, you should slowly get there. I'm hoping that we can get some young people to come in and begin to mine because sometimes I'm a bit concerned that there are Chinese and foreigners that are really coming to mine in Nigeria. And we have every university has civil engineers, mining engineers, electrical engineering courses, etc. Perhaps we should think of setting up a mining community in every state. Artisanal miners can come together and work. Perhaps the civil engineering student can do the rural roads. The electrical engineering students can begin to experiment with electricity, doing electricity, rural electricity. The mining engineering students do some mining because every state has something they can mine to add to the GDP of every state, the IGR of every state. So I believe that for young people, if you really want to mine, by the way, I'm planning to launch a program called Nigerian Youth Mining Their Own Business. Mining as in you want to mine. And I see potentials there for a lot of young Nigerians. And I believe if we synergize with Ministry of Youth and Ministry of Mines, there's a lot of opportunities there to employ a lot of young people because the easiest way to create jobs in any society is infrastructure. And mining does that because anybody can come to the site with nothing, no experience, no education, and mine. If educated folks join, it becomes more interesting. If they begin to build, it becomes even more interesting. If the holes they leave behind that are not reclaimed becomes a pond, it becomes a fish farm, a snail farm. So what I've been talking with the Ministry of Mines and Ministry of the Honorable Minister of Youth is that I think if we all get together with the Nigerian youth are very hardworking people. And if you see, I mean, I've lived abroad, they excel abroad. And if we give them a level playing ground here in Nigeria, I see Nigerian youth leading different situations in Nigeria and abroad. And I thank the Honorable Minister for giving me the opportunity to address some of you on this platform. And I look forward to having you visit in Osun State so that you can join us at Odoiju Mining City, which hopefully we hope will launch soon. And maybe with that cluster, go into other states to see what Nigeria can do and showcase the best of our future. Because the youth of Nigeria are the best, the most valuable raw material Nigeria has to develop today, tomorrow, and the future. And I believe in the Nigerian youth. I believe mining has a lot of things to offer. And I look forward to working with some of you on this mining sector. I've consulted in 6 states, but now I'm in Osun. So I'm hoping you can join us. Our government is very interested in youth. We support the best we can. The minister wants to support us. So any youth that is interested in mining, please join us. We are going to set up a platform, Nigerian youth mining their business. And I look forward to meeting you. There. You do not need to have any skill or any certificate staff. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very insightful speech, Mawi. Thank you so much. I believe a lot of people have learned a bit more about mining on this particular conversation. I just want to find out if there are any questions for Madam Jumoke, please, because I've got a few hands up over here, so I'm not too sure which questions are directly to Mrs. Jumoke. So please, okay, so I have Yusuf Ibrahim. Yusuf Ibrahim says, how can we join your work? I'm interested. Is there any contact details that we can give them for them to join? They've asked for contact details for them to have direct access. Maybe you may wish to leave your email address or
yes,
any other social media handle where they can get to you. Do we have any more questions? I'm checking the questions, so I'm interested. Contact details.
Yeah, my email address.
Yes, please, ma.
Is AI Jumoke. Actually, the name of the we already have registered Osun Youth, Osun Young Explorers and Mining Association.
Okay.
And we also have Osun Nigerian Youth Mining Their Business. Mining as in MINING.
Nigerian Youth.
So what I'm going to...
Yes, ma'am.
Mining their business. And but that I would like to see if we can work together with your ministry and the Honorable Minister of Mines on that, because I think that offers a lot of potentials for different states, for Nigerian youth to actually be proud. We have T-shirts made, so maybe some of the young people on the platform can join in, and the first 20 people that come will be given the T-shirt for free. It's Nigerian youth mining their business so that we can begin to own our own stuff. It's enough. Having foreigners come and do what they want with our country is not good enough when there are able young bodies around. So there is the Nigerian Young Explorers and Miners Association, and one of the strong leaders there is a mining engineer himself, Professor Ajaka of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. I have an MOU with them signed so that the geophysicists, the geologists, all of them can come and we can at a time take 20 youth, because we train So take them to different sites and teach them how to mine responsibly, not leave holes all over the place. And with the Honorable Minister of Youth, there's a possibility that we might be able, if they can assist the youth to semi-mechanize, because some of the difficulty is the digging. So if they can assist in semi-mechanized, so that the young people, the pan, there's a process center, there is a beneficiation center. So they have the whole process line. They mine, they process, and they add value by doing jewelry themselves. And then they cut and polish their stones. So they make jewelry themselves for export. There's no reason for Nigerians to be going to Dubai to buy jewelry, or Italy, or India, when the raw material is in Nigeria. I mean, it's a crying shame. We need to do something about this. And I'm glad that both ministers of mines and youth are very interested in this and really want to encourage young people to do that. And with that encouragement, I will suggest the Nigerian youth key into it so that we can have our own gold shook in Nigeria, where people from all over the world come and buy. We have the raw material. We shouldn't be exporting it raw. So we can, in Odoiju, what we want to do in the mining city is actually mine, process, add value by goldsmithing, cut and polish the stones, and make the jewelry. And if we can, there is enough artistic students, I mean, young people in Nigeria to do that. So joblessness. So let's start, I mean, I would, the platform of Nigerian Young Explorers and Miners Association, I would, it already has a platform. So anybody can key into that and we start a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that. There are a few more questions. Can we have the address of the offices across the nation? I think what we're going to do while we're on this call, we're going to put together a Google form and share the link in the chat section any minute now. So anybody that's interested can fill in their details there, and then we can contact them anytime soon. Infinix Hot 7 Pro, because that's the name I have for you. I've unmuted you. Infinix Hot 7 Pro, please ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, Dauda Hassan by name, but I'm very happy to be here, to be with everybody. Please, I would just have a little question. The first question is, those of us that are interested, you've answered the first question that by saying that you give us Google form that we quickly fill now. Now I want to ask another question: that is there any special requirement for us to be involved in mining businesses? Because you said you didn't have any, you said you didn't need any background knowledge of it. So is there any requirement, maybe certification, any requirements? That's the first question. Then the second question: can someone like me, I'm a graduate, even I also have BS and MSc. Now I want to ask: is there anyone? I mean, any people without any BSc qualification, can they be involved in the mining, in the trainings and business? Can they be involved? Thank you very much.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes, ma. Yes, I can do that, ma. Yes, ma, you can do that.
All right. I'll tell you what. I didn't read geology. I did not read geophysics. I'm not a miner. It's just interest. And the fact that you are educated, you have some degrees, actually makes it easier for you. As we speak, we have young undergraduate and postgraduate students of Federal University of Technology working on the field with artisanal miners here in Osun and in Niger State. And some of them from that experience have even come to the idea of building some of the equipments themselves, like they are now building wash plants themselves. I mean, we can do a whole, I'm sure you know what the Nigerian students can do when motivated. It is the motivation that has been missing. And yes, now you are motivated. That's right. So it means there's so much you can do because it's all in your head. You are talented. All of you have seen, I've seen them in the mining sites. I've seen what they are capable of doing. You just need to be given that chance. So the artisanal miners also have their own value because when I was consulting Zamfara Zamfara State. And I was suggesting that they should be formalized, and we did. We found, I remember there was one particular guy, and he could smell a gold vein from 1 mile off because he had worked there for so long. So if you synergize, you have book knowledge, they have hands-on knowledge. If you marry, you don't need anything. You come, you learn from them, they learn from you, and we both become stronger that way. They become better. You become more knowledgeable. So you do not need anything. If you just come, what will be appealing to the government to do is assist to make it a little bit easier by maybe some semi-mechanization. Because if you are semi-mechanized, obviously you can do a whole lot more. And every state has something to mine. So it means every state can generate jobs through mining, every state. And every state, when you mine, you have residues, like you have laterite pills, you have pits that can be converted to other things. So in mining, there are many other jobs that come out from mining. So like in Osun State, in some of the mining camps have huge bamboo shoots all over the place. So we do bamboo furniture as well. There are so many things you can do once the young people get into that place, because in fact they see more than I see because they are young and they see opportunities. Some of the ordinary pebbles, some of them polish and make jewelry out of it or put to add value to shoes they make. So even the mining size, he cuts some polishes it, he adds it to the shoes he's making, the shoe becomes, it looks a little bit better. And some of them do make export quality. That makes me very proud. So no, you do not need any experience. Just come with a spade and a kundiri. That's what we call it. That will work.
Thank you so
much. Thank you very much, man. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
I hope I get to see you soon. I mean, when you are, just give me a call and come and join us, please.
All right, man.
Okay, great. We have some people asking about the Google form. We're just preparing it, so it will come through any minute now. I think there are a few questions for Mr. Kelechi too. So, Mr. Kelechi, I'm going to unmute you now as well, so you can have a look through the questions and answer. Mr. Kelechi, have you unmuted yourself?
All right. Thank you very much. I think there was a first question that asked about how to go about applying for licenses. Let me pass that question to my colleague, Patrick, who has been in the ministry for some years, so he can share his.
For licenses, the details for license title acquisition in Nigeria, we've already sent it on the chat box. But I want to encourage the youth that the mining legislation in Nigeria has made it even easier, that even without registering with the Corporate Affairs Commission, an individual like the youths can actually seek through the Mining Cadastral Office for a mineral title on their own name without having to go about with registrations. So they can actually apply as individuals. That is there. So we have made this system easy for the artisanal operators in the sector. Formalization is actually going on. We're trying to form them into cooperatives, and that's where we are looking forward to, collaborating with Jumoke, in what she's doing already. When they are together as a cooperative, it makes it easier even to accessing equipment, okay? Because they can use one single equipment to work in different areas within a particular location. So that is there. For the details and the requirements is already there uploaded. I want to also speak to the second question from Abia State regarding
traveling all the way from different parts of Nigeria to Abuja just to acquire titles. The ministry is aware of this challenge in the past. We've recently created zonal offices, okay, in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. We have Mineral Title Administration Office, Mining Cadastral Office in all the zones. For the Southeast is located in Enugu, and they can go there and submit the applications and obtain titles for mining. Also, we are looking forward that latest, by the first quarter of next year, we are going to launch the online application portal. It's ready. We are just test running it. And once we are okay, after the test run, it's going to be launched. And this will make it easier that from their devices, they can actually push in applications. Regarding support, which is, I've listened to so many of us complaining about the funding support. The ministry has some fund with the Bank of Industry. And initially this fund was actually, the program was started in 2017 because of the perception of people seeing government money as just things to take and go away. So the measures, the guidelines for getting access to this money was a bit stringent, okay? And not many people were able to access it. Presently, the ministry has actually lowered the bar and decided to even play the guarantor's role for some of the lower, the artisanal operators. So presently, they can access a maximum of 2 million naira from the bank by just getting a guarantor. Someone, maybe their local chief or their House of Rep member, a senior civil servant, and all that. Just someone that we can hold on. And 200 million naira has been mapped out to be given to the youth. We're also looking at the area of equipment leasing for the ASM operators. What we want to do is that once they're in clusters, we can actually, allocate equipment to a particular zone, say tractors, dumpers, excavators. They can use, and it can actually finish the assignments here. After removing the overburden for them, they can start work while it goes to another area. So these are the things we are trying to put in place to support the youth. Thank you.
Let me just add to what my colleague Patrick has said, and thank you very much, Patrick. I think, and maybe I'll just, in fact, just dovetail into, I think Joy Adewoye had asked the question on the precise strategy for including youths, for having youths to involve themselves in the mining. I think broadly, what I'll say is clearly this is a huge sector that showcases tremendous opportunity. And the good thing about Mr. President and this administration is, he has significantly identified the solid minerals sector, which is mining, and agriculture as core areas for economic diversification, and hopefully leading into industrialization as well, because a lot of the inputs that comes from mining, tend to feed into a lot of our industrial application. And so basically that saves the country from a lot of, if we can truly harness the mining potential and create the value addition, then it can save the country a lot from forex, from importing a lot of these raw materials. And I think for us as youths, this basically poses a solid opportunity. I think the oil and gas narrative has been overplayed now, and it's clear with the current economic climate, COVID, oil prices have been, fluctuating. We have seen more stability in commodity prices of mining products like gold and, lead, zinc, iron ore, which are core inputs to constant industrial production. And I think some of the programs are more or less, here we've seen from our statistics that artisanal mining today is about roughly 80% of the mining sector in Nigeria today. And those 80% probably equates to roughly, whilst I can say that, well, maybe there are issues with getting the right statistics, but we're looking at roughly about 2 to 3 million people who are somewhat involved in the artisanal mining segment. And I think the opportunity for us is to really tap into that segment, but obviously for us as government to make sure that we put proper measures in place to formalize those participation in those artisanal mining. We formalize them, we get proper data, we ensure that there's, proper biometrics identification, we create proper access to finance. Patrick had mentioned about equipment leasing, if we get sets of equipments and, youths can group themselves in various cooperatives and, can have access to those equipments whatsoever, and beyond the mining and extracting the minerals from the ground, there's also the processing aspect of it, and beyond the processing, you can now start to do supplies to end users or industrial users, or, basically go into the trading aspect of it. Or even better still, there's also an export opportunity where you can eventually earn foreign exchange from it. So there's a whole lot, of value that the whole mining ecosystem provides, and it's not just about your technical expertise of being a geologist or a geophysics or whatever. It's just the interest, I truly believe that this sector is for our own generation, and we really need to own it and harness it. The opportunity is now, and I think it's a good opportunity to, truly make the best out of it. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That's a lot of information. I hope we've all taken it down. If we haven't, we've got the Google form up there. I can see everyone's filling it now. We'll be passing on the details from the Google form to the Ministry Mines and Steels, as well as Madam Jumoke. So don't worry, everyone filling out the forms, know that you are in safe hands. At this point, I'm going to bring on the Honorable Minister, Youth and Sports Development, because I can see that there are a number of questions for you, sir. Honorable Minister, sir, I will try to unmute you at this point. Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Kemi. I'm back with you.
Thank you, sir.
So are you able to raise some of those questions?
We have a few people that have some questions for you. I think
okay.
Mr. or is it Oyewole Kate? So Oyewole Kate, I'm going to try to unmute you now. Okay, Oyewole Kate, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, I have a question for the Minister of Youth and Sports, ma. It's concerning a Gold Award program I did in Abuja on the 6th of February 2020. During my Gold Award program, during my speech, I made mention of my tour ride, a ride from Lagos to Ghana, named Tour de Afrique, organized by FT Cycle Care. And during my tour ride, I made mention of me riding from Lagos to Ghana, and that tour made me to be the youngest cyclist to cycle from Lagos to Ghana. And that actually impressed the Minister of Youth and Sport. And then during his speech, he said that I will be in Abuja. And then my details was collected. But then I was not contacted. And then I went online and made research, and then I was able to get his media contact, which I contacted him, and then he directed me to the special advisor to the minister. But then, I become not the minister. So I'd like to hear from you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister, over to you. Did you get that?
Yes, thank you so much. The young lady, everything she said is true because our talent is rare. Kemi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, and let me apologize if the communications we've had has not been up to speed. Recall that we had the COVID-19 lockdown, and then when we all came back, everybody got extremely busy. But I have Mary Oyali, my SA Sports here with me. If you look, you can see her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mary will handle our case directly because she's in charge of the talent hunt program, and she's one of the talents we have received. So if she's able to probably can we send a contact number to you or email, Mary will get across to her instantly, and what I promised her, we will fulfill.
Thank you very much, sir. I have a contact.
Okay, is she able to provide the details to Kemi?
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Kate. So, Madam Onyali will be getting in touch with you soon. So, we have a question from Razak Abiodun. Just a second while I mute Kate again. Kate, you may wish to mute yourself. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So, Honorable Minister, sir, you have a question from Razak Abiodun, Minister of Youth and Sports. Please, when is all the programs set for youth in this country going to be implemented and start? For example, Empower has open site now since and is yet to proceed, and the next stage of action, and also Survival Fund and NYIF. I implore Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport to please always do a follow-up of program set for the youth in the country, and there must be transparency and accountability. Over to you, sir. Sir, I believe you are muted. We can't hear you. Just a second, sir. You may wish to unmute yourself, sir.
No. All right, can you hear me? Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important that every government program is transparent. And I think that that's what gives it credibility. It gives our youth the level playing field to be able to assess these opportunities. The ministry has started a process of interfacing with ministries and departments where we know these youth programs are domiciled. It was a ministry that put together the document that identified 25 youth-focused programs. Some of them have been ongoing for 3 years, some for 5 years. So we started an engagement to make sure that we follow up, and we also know how that is ongoing. Of course, you know, we can only just play an associate part when it comes to that, because there's a ministry that leads that. But talking about NYI, we're trying to be as transparent as possible, and that's why we're using an online application process. Not the issue of somebody somewhere submitting 500 names. You must apply, you must be processed, you must attend a training, and then a determination is made about your approval and the level of funding you can get. Empower. Empire is under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Control. I can't speak for the timing of when the second batch will be onboarded. I know that they've gone through the process. I know that they will need funding to get it started. But I know that the president has approved another 500,000, 500,000 Empower beneficiaries to commence very soon. I want to promise you that in another 1 or 2 weeks, I will bring the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management to be on this program, and she can speak to the timing and the other details. Finally, Survivor Fund. The Survivor Fund has started. It's under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And it's going out in batches. Just last week, I've seen more than 20 testimonies of people in Aba and some other places that have received the 30,000 Naira alert survival fund. And it's badged into 3 groups. You know, I think a number of states, 7 states or so. So you just have to wait. But unless you apply, you can't get it. You must apply and then provide the necessary information that you need, and then you can get it. Please visit our website, noya.com, the Ministry of Youth and Sports. You can see some of these programs that are ongoing, especially the ones that we are directly in charge, and you can apply and benefit from them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, sir. So 3 quick ones, sir. So there have been a number of complaints on the fact that people that have made applications, especially for the NYIF, have not received follow-up email. So the lack of the follow-up emails doesn't enable them to know the next stage. And they hear that some people have received emails telling them of the next stage. Then there are different links on the NYIF flying around. They need to know which one is the right one. And based on the training that the Honorable Minister spoke about, how can a youth-focused organization who is already doing similar things help the ministry cascade and make it more accessible for others? If you can speak to that, sir.
Can you take the last part again, Kevin?
It says, based on the training that the Honorable Minister spoke about, how can a youth-focused organization who is already doing similar things help the ministry cascade it and make it more accessible to others?
All right, let me take it from the back end. I think if the youth-focused organization has not registered with the ministry, they should please go to our website. There's a category where they can register. That's 1. 2, they can also introduce their youth-focused organization and request that we partner in the area of NYIF or specific programs. I can assure them they'll be invited for a meeting and we can set up the mechanism of such partnership. We are deliberately seeking out youth-focused organizations and individuals who have the relevant competencies and who are also operating in areas in which we're doing training and support and empowerment for our youth. So they're welcome. Now, the fact that we have different kinds of link to NYIF also speaks to the tyranny of the social media, where everybody is a publisher. So we've seen a number of scams. People have created multiple proxy websites, which is unfortunate. What we can do is we'll keep promoting the authentic one. Some of these scam sites are even asking for money. Before we came out, we had a newspaper advert, we had a television advert to say it is free. Don't pay anybody any money to be able to get this. So we'll try and put out the authentic one repeatedly, but you have to be wary because there's so many fakes out there. Unfortunately, that is the world in which we live in now. Why am I not getting an email? Remember, this is an application process. And there's a shortlist process To a large extent, if you have not gotten a follow-up email, that means you've only scaled the first process of applying successfully. That means the second process, perhaps you didn't scale through. That's why you're not getting an email.
Okay, sir. Are we done with those ones? Sir? Okay, so the next one is from Yusuf Ibrahim, who says, my name is Ibrahim Yusuf from Kaduna State. I'm working with my team on Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 7, 13, 14, and 15. Currently, we are working on the production of agriculture briquettes for rural women to curb the effect of air pollution and deforestation. How can the ministry support their project, sir? So sorry, sir, you're muted again. I will try to unmute you. Yes, sir.
And Kemi, Minister Ogah is waiting to be admitted. Can you please admit him?
Yes, sir.
Minister of State, Mines and Power. Now, Kemi, I listened to that question about the sustainable goals. It might not be just easy to provide the necessary answers here, but suffice to mention that we know that out of the 13 sustainable goals, 8 of them are youth-focused. We want to also travel along that path. So I'll advise that they either write us or come to the office so that they can meet with me and the relevant directors, see what they're doing, look for areas of partnership and plug-in. I think that's the way to move forward with it.
Okay, sir. I'll just find 1 or 2 more before we move to Minister Ogah. Just 1 second, sir.
Who has Kate's number?
Okay, so we have Oyikansola Fawemi. Oyikansola, you may wish to unmute yourself. Oyikansola. Oyikansola Fawemi. Okay, I don't think Oyikansola is still here. Bello Kamaldeen Ola. There's a bit of noise. I'm muting everyone. Okay, so where were we? So Bello Kamaldeen Ola Lekon, please unmute yourself. Bello Kamaldeen Ola Lekon. Hello? So I think we're having some technical difficulty there. We'll try one more person and see. So I have Bello Sulaiman Akorede. Bello Sulaiman Akorede. Please unmute yourself. Bello Sulaiman.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Bello. Please give us your question.
Yes. Firstly, I would like to appreciate this initiative. Actually, I'm a student of mining engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, and I'm very happy and delighted to have this kind of initiative. My own question is that what effort is the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development doing as regards meeting institutions that are offering this mining engineering course in like a program, we can call it Catch Them Young. We have students studying this course in the higher institution, I think there should be like a sensitization program for them to let them know the opportunity open to them in this mining industry when they are done with their career. Not just that it will just be artisans, because majorly, let me say, about 80% of mining activities being carried out in Nigeria is being done by artisans, people that are not certified to do it, and they are the one enjoying the benefit from it. I've been to so many mining industries, so many companies where you have 90%, 80% of their staff being people that studied other courses apart from mine engineering courses, and whereby we have mine engineering graduates roaming around the state without jobs. So please, what is the Ministry of Youth, in collaboration of Ministry of Mines and Skill Development, can do as regards sensitization of mine engineering students, as regards the opportunities they have for them in the mining sector? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. The Honorable Minister has stepped out for a brief minute, but you do have me. So yes, with regards to what the ministry is doing for, with regard to what the ministry is doing for young miners, it's we need to work in collaboration with the Ministry of Mines and Steel, this is a collaboration that's just being formed currently. Within this Zoom call, we're taking down information from all the young people here that want to get involved. We're working with consultants like Madam Jumoke. We're also working with the Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel, as well as the special assistants that spoke with us earlier. We will all come together, we'll have a stakeholders meeting, and we'll put something together for young miners, and we will send it out to you. So the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development works with all our sister ministries to ensure that young people get access to every benefit that they need. So you can rest assured that for us to put together this Zoom call, it is very important. For us to put together this Zoom call, it means it's very important to us. So since now that we've got your details, please ensure you fill your details in the form, because that's the only way we'll be able to get back to you. So please, once you've done that, we will get back to you by next week, hopefully, to let you know the next steps. So I'm happy to let us know that the Google form is in the chat. Please just scroll up. So I'm happy to let us know that the Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel is now available to speak with us. I will just have to find him, and then he will be speaking to us next. So just 2 seconds while I do that. Please do bear with me, because I am technical assistant and host in one. Okay, so there we go. I've found him now, and I'm trying to unmute him. Dear sir, Honorable Minister, sir, you may wish to unmute yourself. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jumoke. Thank you very much. I want to apologize because this is a clash of timing, because I thought maybe this was to be in the morning. I shifted my trip to evening. Unfortunately, the flight was delayed, and I want to apologize to all the audience. First, I want to thank the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports for this initiative, which is a great one, and which you can see that there's a collaboration between all the ministries. And with this, his view, there's going to be a great impact on the youth, the teeming youth that are even looking for jobs. You can see there's a lot of potential that are available in the mining sector. And I believe my Chief of Staff has delivered my speech, but I want to appeal for, if possible, for a rescheduling of this meeting, where I can have the opportunity to speak to the youth and interact with them longer than necessary, because as I'm talking to you, I'm on the road. I have to stop to talk to you people. But I want to say, honestly,
Okay. If I'm correct in saying, Honorable Minister, sir, I think we're struggling to hear you here.
And staff of the ministry, and that is the way to
Mr. Kelechi, am I correct in saying we're struggling to hear the Honorable Minister there?
That's correct. So he's currently on the move as we speak. So fluctuating network. But
that's true. Okay. So
Spirit is here with us, and I think he has appealed for another opportunity to again interact for a more extended period with a couple of Nigerian youths who have been on this program. So I think it's something we would have to work with, also with the permission of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's awesome. So what we will do is, since we do have a number of people that have filled out the form, I think we can also tweet the form as well at some point to see if we can get a number of other people that may wish to join in that particular meeting. And we'll discuss with both the Honorable Minister Youth and Sports and Honorable Minister State Mines and Steel and see when will be an appropriate and convenient time for everyone to jump onto that particular conversation, if that's okay with everyone here. Okay, so we need to move on quickly. I think yes, we will reschedule. I'm seeing a comment there to say, let's reschedule. So yes, we will reschedule. Honorable Minister Youth and Sports, sir, Mr. Sunday Dare, we have a question that says from Mr. Yaren Dabo. He says, when will NYIF disbursement begin? Then Umar Abba says, some of us did not receive the 30,000 survival fund. Is it in batches? Honorable Minister, sir, you may wish to unmute yourself.
Thank you very much for those two questions. The NYIF has a process, and I know that after the application, you get an email, and then you get approved to attend a 5-day online training. And then after that, you'll be invited for some documentation and disbursement can start. I don't have an exact timeline, but since we have started, we know that training has also started for the first batch of about 500. That will be in batches. Secondly, the Survival Fund is not under the purview of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. It is under the purview of the Ministry of Industries, Trade and Investment. As far as I know, it's been stated that the disbursement will be in batches. A number of states are grouped together. It's going to run from now till the end of November. So if you have applied, I think you should just wait. If you have not received anything, maybe it's not, your state is not in the first batch, might be in the next batch. But you ought to have applied. Without applying, you don't expect to get anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, sir. Honorable Minister of State, Mr. Ogah, has thanked everyone for our understanding that he to speak with us now. And we will work on rescheduling. The form will also be shared once again. I think we just take one last question and then we'll wrap it up for this week. I do have a number of hands up, but I won't go to that. So if you just have one last question, please just type in the chat section that me please, and then I'll take you and then we'll wrap it up. So I'm just waiting for one last question. You just say me please in the chat section and we'll take your one last question. And that will be it for today. I think I have a question earlier, please. I sent a question. Okay, Joy Adewi. I think we've answered your question, Joy. And Aluko Sake. how will you choose a successful candidate for NYIF when there is no category or differences between registered business and those that are not registered? We just filled in our details, and I'm wondering, what are you going to use to shortlist? I'm still wondering. And that's the last question for this evening, sir.
Thank you so much, Kemi. You know, there's information out there about NYIF beyond applying. If you stay on our website, you will see the detail and the process. And there are two categories. Even for businesses that are not registered, SMEs are not registered, there's a level of funding you will get. For those that are registered, there is the criteria that makes you eligible. So there are categories. The information is so detailed. If you are not registered, there's also a limit to the amount you can get approved for. And the moratorium on whatever funding that you get. If you are a registered business and you want funding for movable or immovable capital, insurance, and some other processes. So the details are there. Even if you don't see those details, those processing it have the details. Relevant questions will still be asked. You'll be benchmarked against the criteria that we have on ground, and that will determine what you get. Don't forget, this is not an empowerment. It's also not a fixed amount of 30,000 naira for everyone. It is a range. And what you get is a function of your business idea, what you want to do, the realistic capital you will need, and assessment, on-the-spot assessment of the kind of support you will need to get started. So be patient. The processes will get to you. The questions will come, but we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. Get people enrolled, process them, take them through the training, and based on the extra information you submit, we can make a determination. Some will be asked for a business plan or market survey. Those questions will come up. Because it's a loan, even though at 5%, with a long moratorium, but also the requisite question will be important for us. We also have monitoring and evaluation to see how recipients are able to use the money accordingly, and how some of them can even benefit further. So it's a process. We're just taking the first bold step forward, and then we can see how best we can get help to our youth in good time.
Thank you so much for that, Honorable Minister, sir. Thank you so much to everyone that has joined in this evening. Yes, sir.
Yeah, before you wrap up, let me say that I have seen the interest generated. I also know before we started that there are a lot of opportunities in mining for our youth. I thank you for quickly coming up with the Google form. I've seen quite a number of people have applied, and they also want some feedback and update. So I want to suggest that next week, we bring back the Minister of State, Mines and Steel. We'll make sure this time our timing works with him so we can put him on the hot seat. Because in mining, they have a lot of opportunities at the federal government level for our youth. And he's in the best position to provide the information, but also to lead our youth in the right path and guide them properly. So we'll bring back the Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel. We'll also bring back our mining expert so that she can speak to the Google Forms that have come. And I think she might even have 1 or 2 slides to share with us, a step-by-step process. If I'm a youth and I'm interested in mining, I've got no experience. I just want to show up at a mining site. Can I do it? Yes. If I do it, what do I get? What do I need to do? Get a basin, pack up a bit of sand, sift them, separate them, turn them over. Either way, I get paid. This is possible. Don't forget, apart from Osho, there's gold in 3 northern states. Zamfara has gold. And that's interesting. And once you get the necessary information, our youth can step into gold mining. So we're going to bring this back again. We're going to have a repeat of this. And then also take questions on NYIF. By then we'll have some very more updates on NYIF. And perhaps if any of our other programs have started, we'll also use Google Form to recruit people directly, because I see this is working quite well. We'll recruit you directly through Google Form, and then we can plug you into our program, whether it's WEP, whether it's digital training, whether it's the Microsoft training, whether it's the MasterCard training. I think we can start that process. And haven't been enrolled, you can tell others. Another best place to meet us is every Friday on the Youth Virtual Town Hall meeting, where the issues that concern the youth are discussed, where opportunities are provided, and where we can work together for a better future for our youth. Thank you very much, Kami.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, sir. Thank you to everyone that has joined in the conversation this evening. I hope you've got all the information that you require. And the good thing about us coming back again next week is you have time to look through some of the questions or some of the information that Kelechi has sent, and you will obviously be able to form. You might have 1 or 2 questions that you can bring to the forefront next week, Friday. So please do stay tuned to our Twitter handle at Nigeria FMYS. So you get the information for next week's town hall meeting. You'll also get the exact time, because I believe it will not be at 5 p.m. next week. So in order for you to get the right time, please do stay tuned. Thank you so much to everyone for joining. The conversation is still on Facebook, so you can watch it again. In case you missed anything, please do fill out the Google form so we can get as much information to you as possible. Thank you so much once again for joining us, and please do have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next week, Friday. Thank you and good night.